you're never going to get enough of it. You're never going to have enough. You're never going to feel like enough because you're coming from a place of lack. You're coming from a place of scarcity. Hi. Hi, I'm so excited to be back again. Welcome to my podcast, 7th House Sessions. I am your host, Ilyyyyy Joel. Or you could call me 7. Or Yanni. And hi, I don't know what today's episode is going to be called, but I know what it's going to be about. And it's going to be kind of heavy. So get ready, because we're gonna eradicate your struggles today, or at least my intention is to provide the space for you to claim your sovereignty today. Whenever you listen to this, whenever you see this, whenever you're watching this, that's my intention for you in this video. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so today's podcast episode is episode number 2, by the way. Today's podcast episode is going to be about addiction. Addiction. Just need to take a deep breath. Just pause. Okay, so I don't know where to start because it's a lot. So, okay, hi. Does it sound better? I don't know. I can't tell because my headphones are like over my ears because my rap. But I really wanted to wear my headphones so I could hear slightly. So I'll just keep it up here. I'll keep it here like this. I'll keep it like this. Okay, so addiction and so the victim and the bystander, right? So in addiction, we have the addict and we have the bystanders. The people that is either egging it on and watching it be the detriment, or you have the people that are just going, like, that just choose to like act like nothing's happening. You know what I mean? Like because they feel powerless. Now, on both sides of the coin, both archetypes feel powerless. Both archetypes are powerless in the situation, and that is why it ends up being what it is. So I'm sorry, this really is a heavy topic. But okay, so the feeling of powerlessness is the root of addiction. Okay? The feeling of powerlessness is the root of addiction. And furthermore, we become addicted when we suppress, and we feel powerless because we suppress. Like, powerlessness is the side effect to emotional suppression. So ultimately, the root of addiction is powerlessness, but the root of powerlessness is suppression of self. You see what I'm getting from? And it's not even always like traumatic situations, even though I know most of us have gone through traumatic situations that have brought this feeling of powerlessness like to the surface, and it just stuck with us because that's what kept us safe. Like, a lot of us being powerless was what kept us safe, because we were in codependent situations with people where we needed to be brainless in order to not be attacked. You know what I mean? Like, you needed to depend on somebody in order for that person to not, like, come for you. Like, you had to give up your power. And most of us, it was during our childhood. And, like, literally, like, we got to a point where it was our life. Like, we were, because we also felt like we were probably adults, like, because we felt responsible. Like, we really felt like we was handling big shit, because we was handling big shit at such a tiny age. But we was also being told that we was just kids, that we was powerless, that we couldn't do nothing, that we didn't have no money, we didn't have no resources, that there was nothing that we could do besides sit and follow the structure that was given to us. You feel me? So you feel me? You see how you could literally fall into a feeling of powerlessness if you, as a child and so on, are consistently told and reinforced that you don't have any power until you're an adult, and you begin to associate your emotions, your feminine energy, like your feminine energy literally, and just your ability overall to rest and be soft and receive. You start to feel like you start to suppress that, and you start to, like, have a resistance towards it, because you feel like you don't deserve it, because you're powerless. You're powerless, and you feel like only adults can have it. Your inner child feels like only adults are able to hold power. But guess what? Your inner child grew up to be an outer adult. So your outer adult also still probably believes that it's powerless. You see what like, you cannot separate the two. It grow like children and adults are the same. Adults literally are just grown-up children. So to separate the two, first of all, is an illusion. But second of all, it creates this feeling of you're rushing your entire innocence, and like you're rushing it away as if it's a stage, when it is a state that we are meant to embody and move through, because we're meant to move through states. Being a child was a state. And yes, once you stop being a child, then you move into adolescence, or you become an adult, like physical bodied. Like, yes, you're never going to be able to go back to being a child, but you're always going to be learning life. You're always going to be a child here. Like, you're always learning. You're always a child. So it's like, to say that only adults have power and children are powerless creates a divide in you. And anytime you feel that inner child come up, you push that hoe down. Like, nah, what you doing? Get back in the coop, you powerless child, you little chicken. Oh, this is my son. You feel me? Like, you literally think that your inner child is your son. Nobody is below you, but certainly not your inner child. Like, let's put some respect on your kid name. Like, let's really stop looking outside of ourselves. And that's okay. Putting respect on your kid name, bro. It's so easy to get caught up in trying to nurture everything outside of us, that they literally become our, like, like, we start to nurture it like we're its parents. And it doesn't even have to be like physical people. It could be like things and objects, or like things and like it could be anything. It could be objects, situations, opportunities, places. Like, it's literally so easy to attach yourself to any and everything when you're trying to run away from yourself. Everything that you see needs to be nurtured. It's like you grow this eye and this, like, and of course you're gonna naturally attract situations where you have to prove your power. Chasing attracts situations that force you to continuously chase, and that is literally what addiction is. It's literally, you have no choice but to look outside of yourself, because how else will you survive? You have to look to something. So what are you gonna look to? And considering the fact that everything around you naturally fluctuates, and addiction tells you to look outside of yourself continuously, you're never gonna have enough. Literally, the only way that I can say it is, the road of addiction is going to keep you on that same path. It makes it seem as though it's keeping you, it's like it's safer to choose the unhealthy option, but it's not. Why? Because it's going to keep you there. It might hurt a little bit to make the better decision, or a lot, but also on the other side, like on the other side of the coin, like, you're going to be liberated. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to have to suffer, then you might as well suffer for liberation, instead of just like choosing to continuously perpetuate the cycle of suffering on yourself. That's addiction. Choosing to continuously be the victim and to always be in a room full of bystanders. And obviously, like, in the beginning of this, I said that this was a really heavy topic, because it is. I also want to say that, like, when I'm talking about this, I by no means think that this is light or easy work, but I'm very much so talking to the people that are ready to do the work. Like, I'm not talking to nobody that's still making excuses for themselves, because you're going to keeping yourself in addiction, and you're going to keep yourself in the addictive cycle, because that's why you're there. You're not taking accountability for yourself. I'm not here to sugarcoat this or coddle about it, but I also want you to know that I'm holding you through this, and I see you in this, because I know what it means. I know what it feels like firsthand and collectively in my family. You feel me? I know what addiction looks like. I know what it feels like. There is no amount of pity that anybody can do, that anybody can give you for you to feel better. I know that. I know that when you're in that state, you literally feel insatiable. There is absolutely nothing that nobody can do to make you feel like you belong, or that you're understood, or like you have anybody, because you're consistently keeping yourself in this mind state that you are alone and that you do not have anybody. And that's that illusion of separation again, that you can't depend on anybody, and that again keeps you in addiction. Addiction is a narcissist. Okay? It isolates you, and it tells you that if you don't adhere to this addiction, then you're not going to be safe. And 9 times out of 10, that's reflecting, now that I'm thinking about it, because it comes from narcissistic behavior. Codependency is created from narcissistic behavior. People that, like, when you are in a codependent situation, you literally don't know yourself, because you have to surrender to the other person, because you're so in tune with them so that you're safe. You're consistently in a state of fight or flight, because you're consistently trying to survive, because you're always hypervigilant to make sure that you're safe. And I also understand the frustration where it's like, well, bro, there's so many people that are in situations where they like people that are like not in like emotionally like the best situations, but they're still okay. And I feel like it's because not everybody has dire need, emotional needs. You do, we do, and that's okay. Not everybody is going to be super sensitive and perhaps attuned to their emotions like we are, and that's okay. That's okay. People are different, and we can let people be different, but we also need to know that we don't need to put our eggs in those baskets, because they're going to continue to reap the fruit of powerlessness, because that's where it's coming from. And I just want to keep saying that, like, you're going to continuously manifest from what you choose. You're going to continuously manifest from what you choose. So if you are addicted to choosing the things that are not good for you, if you're addicted to things that are not good for you, if you're addicted to anything that's not good for you, because you're doing it out of balance, first of all, but like, it's a choice. So if it's a choice, then that in itself, you're giving up your choice. That is your feeling of powerlessness. So even if you've done some work, you feel me? And even if you've done some inner child healing, you've done some work, you're hyper aware, you're self-aware, but you're still addicted, you still can't stop. It's because your adult is still avoiding the choice. Your inner child might have been powerless, but your adult has the opportunity to actually choose to make the right decision, to do what actually feels good to you, what actually will heal you, and not just put a band-aid solution on you, because that's not what your inner child needed when it had that. It didn't need a band-aid. So why would you give yourself a band-aid now? Like, why would you leave your inner child behind now? Because ultimately, this all comes from betrayal. We all need somebody to love us, to cheer us on, to show us that we can do this, that we have somebody, that we're not alone. So when you don't have that, or when you perceive that you don't have that, when you feel that you don't have that, when you sense that you don't have that, you begin to tell yourself that you have nobody, that you have nothing, that you're alone. And when that becomes your physical reality, and you're taught not to lean on that inner child, that feminine energy, that intuition, those emotions, when you're taught to not lean on the ebbs and flows and feel safe in transition in the unseen, you're going to shun it. Emotional suppression. So it all like goes into each other. It all goes into each other. This shit low-key eat. So I said, for the victim and the bystander, both parties need to take accountability. The victim needs to take accountability for the fact that they have every right to getting help. There is a deep level of shame and guilt and fear of receiving help at the root of addiction. That is why you choose not to actually do anything for yourself, because you feel like helping yourself is bad. You feel like getting actual, like, getting guidance, you feel like it's dangerous to you, because you were taught that in dynamics, in partnerships, in whatever relationships you had, that you were taught, and you feel, because some of this is ancestral and we just are drawn to it naturally, bro, and our environments just allow it to flourish, but which is also a part of the trauma. But you have to decide you have to decide You have to decide. Nobody can decide for you. You have to decide. That's it. Like, there's nothing else that comes after that. You have to decide to do what? You have to decide to you have to decide to choose the timeline where you have power. Because ultimately, this is all a mind fuck. You just feel like you don't have power because you were consistently told that you don't have power. When you don't lean on your intuition, you cannot feel spirit. You cannot feel the safety and the innate nurturing and like protection that you have over your entire essence through life. When you are disconnected from your inner child like that, when you're disconnected from your emotions like that, your feminine energy like that, of course you feel powerless. And then we have the bystander that also feels powerless, and they need to take accountability and realize that they have the power to help. So many people be like, it's none of my business. Why is it none of your business? Because that same thing lives within you and you're avoiding it. We would not be so turned facey to so many things that are desensitized to us at this point, which aren't really desensitized, or just deeply avoided. But we have like this idea that our little or just that somebody, like, that's literally that's somebody else is going to help. Somebody else is going to help. Somebody else is going to help, yet none of y'all believe in a higher power. Somebody else is going to help, but none of y'all are going to help. So who is the somebody else? Because ultimately, we're told growing up in, toxic Christianity that we're spiritual, and like, you feel me, that we're spiritual through religion because we believe in Jesus Christ as God, whatever the fuck. That's not, you say that, but you still neglect your inner child. You still demonize certain aspects of femininity and feminine energy, and you run away from your creativity, and you feel like your body is a demon and is evil, and you still are in the closet, and you still feel like you still hold shame and fear and guilt over your sexuality, and you still judge people. You judge people bad. Why? Because you project your shadow onto people, because you feel like the shadow aspect of yourself is demonic. You still feel like the vulnerable aspects of yourself is demonic. You feel like you need to be saved. You do not need to be saved. There's nothing wrong with you. You came here with everything that you needed. You were like, it really gets me going. You were put here. You were brought here. You signed that contract to come here on purpose, with the purpose. Everything that you have on your body is purposeful. Everything that we see is purposeful. Even the shit that don't make sense. Even the shit that's stupid. Even the shit that opposes us. That feels like it opposes us. Like, it literally is all here for a purpose. So, like, feeling like we have no power is disrespecting our own spirituality, our own intuition, our own inner child, because we're consistently, when we feel like we have no power, or when we tell ourselves we have no power, we feel like we have no power at 3:33 on the clock, and we're consistently robbing ourselves and draining ourselves of our own life force energy, of our own vitality. And that, aside from the bystanders that just watch you, because of course the actual addict is going to attract people that just watch you that also feel powerless, because the addict isn't the addict because it feels powerless. But on the other side, as the addict, you're naturally going to become the abuser. Why? Because you're abusing as an addict. If it's not balanced, it's abuse. So, you feel powerless. So what are you going to do? You're going to look outside of yourself. You think that you're the victim, so you choose to suppress. You're putting yourself in a victim state. You're the slave and the owner. And so with that being said, anybody that you go around, you're naturally going to siphon their energy because you don't have any. And if you don't siphon the people around you's energy, which you probably do, then you isolate. And you tell yourself consistently that you don't have energy. So you're still siphoning your own energy. You gotta siphon somebody's energy, because how will you survive? You feel me? So now you begin to look outside of yourself to depression. Because depression sells you the dream that if you stick to paralysis, which is sick, but if you stick to paralysis, somebody will save you. And I know that also in the same breath, you also feel like nobody's coming to save you. So like when you get to this point and you're like, I know nobody's coming to save me, but I still have that feeling. It is a longing for nurturing. You just want somebody to love you. You just want somebody to choose you. You just want someone to choose you and to see you, when really you're waiting for you to see you. Like it's you. It's always been you. It's always going to come back to you. Everything is going to reflect to you. It's always. And that is why it comes back to accountability, because it starts with you. The minute you tell yourself that the people around you are not bystanders, that they are people that are willing to help you, that see you for you, and you are able to take accountability for who you are, you actually see you for you, those people are going to begin to fall away. And while your life may tower a moment, also it's going to resurface afterwards, and you're going to have a brand new community. And it may not even be a whole community. It may be a whole you. But you have the opportunity to go out and attract, not chase, everything that you've ever desired. Because you finally gave yourself the opportunity to be nurtured. But you have to choose it. You have to choose it. And 9 times out of 10, the bystanders, they're not choosing it either. So they think that they're keeping the peace, and they're staying out of the drama by just not doing nothing and expecting for somebody else to help. But also, you're giving up your power as well. Because why do you just think that somebody else is going to do it if you don't? Like, why? You know? Why do you just expect something outside of you to catch it if it falls, just because you don't want to deal with it? Why don't you want to deal with it? Why do you feel the need to just look at it or turn face? Why do you feel the need to avoid it? Why don't you want to look at it? Why don't you want to face the realness, the totality, the honesty of it, for real? Why you don't want to be honest with yourself? What's wrong with it? You're so afraid of helping somebody. You're so afraid of things being taken away from you. Your powerlessness. We're so afraid that if you help this person, you're going to be pulled into something that, and sometimes that happens because, shit happens. But also, like, use discernment. If you trusted yourself, you wouldn't feel powerless. Confirmation verb. If you trusted your ability to help people and to help the right people, and that you attracted the right experiences that deserved your energy and your service, you'd actually feel comfortable not being a bystander and actually helping the person and reminding them that they're not alone in the situation, that they can return to themselves. Because we'd all be able to return to ourselves. When you can return to yourself, you can remind others that they can return to themselves. And the bystander literally tells themselves that they have nobody to return to. So why would I help you? I don't have anybody, so why would I help you? And then the act is like, I don't have anybody. I just don't have anybody, so I can't even help myself. So with me not even being able to help myself, I'm just an addict. Both sides of the coin literally is codependent on the fact that somebody is coming to save them. Because ultimately you say, oh, well, nobody's da-da-da-da-da for me. Why would I da-da-da-da for you? Why do you expect for somebody to da-da-da for you when you're not even da-da-da-da for you? Like, the entitlement is insane. Why would somebody want to help you when you don't even want to receive the help, when you don't even want to help you, when you don't even know what your help is and you refuse to figure it out? You refuse to learn on a whole level. You refuse to stop trying to get around yourself. Nobody can really see you because you can't see you. And ultimately, that's a paradox, because when you can't see you, you project so loudly outside of yourself that people can still see you. They can see your shadow. They just can't see the alchemized version of it. And also, it's like this, like, anger and like resentment underlying. That's like, nobody is coming to, like, nobody did da-da-da-da for me. Nobody came to save me. So I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to do it myself. Always. Alone. Solo dolo. But isn't that going to mean that you're going to be solo dolo all the time? And isn't that not what you wanted? Didn't you want help and love and to feel understood? Didn't you want to do this with somebody, some things, people? Didn't you want this to be? You wanted community in this situation, and you chose isolation because you are denying yourself of community. Ultimately, addiction is telling yourself to choose what is outside of you that's gonna make you feel like you're healed, like you're done, like you're okay. First of all, there's never a finish line. There's never a finish line. We're always living. We're always breathing. We're always putting in effort. There's always an input and an output. And we have this resentment towards outputting because we feel like nobody input. And we have to release that. Because we're ready to input. You are ready to input. But nobody can input, including you, until you choose to break at that wall. Break at that wall. Because you put that wall up for other people, but you really also put that wall up for yourself, because other people really just reflect you. We individuals, but we reflect one another. We reflect what we perceive, or we're reflections of each other, because we perceive others through our own lens of reference, of our own reference point. You saying that you don't want it because you feel like you never had it, and now you like, no, I don't want it now. It's too late. No, it's not. It's only too late because you telling yourself to. It's too late. Stop being stubborn. Being stubborn not gonna get you what you want. The universe don't respond to resentment. It responds to vibration. Okay? I mean, resentment is certainly a vibration, but it's not gonna bend to your will like you think it is just because you're upset with it. Most people are upset with it. Trust me. Anywho. Yeah, so we're resentful not only of the people that neglected us, but we're also resentful of ourselves because we collected suppression interest. Literally. With the input and output, there's always an equal there's always a circulation happening with input and output as long as it's even. Right? When you put in, it comes out. When you put out, when it comes out, you put in. You feel me? It's always going to be an even exchange. But what happens when it stops being an even exchange? What happens when it becomes imbalanced and you start suppressing your emotions? Because ultimately your emotions is your life force energy. It's energy in motion. Your emotions are, and I say this so much, your emotions are messengers, bro. They're literally telling you exactly what it is that you need to know. But you cannot suppress them because you won't know shit about yourself. Like, they're literally our gateway to self, our water, while you're still neglecting yourself and still holding on to the fact that people neglected you and that spirit and God and your idea of a higher source neglected you. It's racking up. It's racking up. It's stacking on stacking. You're resentful because you're burnt out from abandoning yourself at this point. Not even because other people have abandoned you. Like, you've literally kept it up for this long. That's why you're upset with yourself. Because you allowed beings from ages ago to still dictate where you're at today. Tap into your nervous system. Tap into your mind. Tap into your emotions. Tap into everything that when life comes up, pay attention to your responses, because that's going to tell you what you avoiding. It's going to tell you what you avoiding, what you need to work on, where you need to nurture. Just pay attention. Start paying attention to yourself. Start showing yourself the love, the energy, and the affection that you want other people to show you. Start believing that you have power. Because when you believe that you have power, you believe that other people have power, and you start to attract people in your life that have power, and you begin to have and attract power dynamics in your life that are actually balanced and contribute to you and your well-being and your balanced and wholeness as a person that you chose to cultivate. But you gotta choose it. The name of the episode might be choice. Like, for real. So yeah, leaning, and also I will say this, it's very easy to get addicted to getting help on the flip side also. And just, this is that siphoning energy that I was talking about, addicted to getting help and just always leeching up off somebody. And you consistently tell yourself, like, oh, I just feel so bad. Like, I'm such a burden. Hell yeah, you are. Hell yeah, you are, because you're making yourself one. Not because you're actually one. And I'm sorry that you feel that way and that life put you in that situation. You never deserved that. That is not your birthright. But what your birthright is to take up space. But you can't take up space if you're keeping yourself in a reality where you feel like you're a burden. So you're going to always be leeching off of people when you feel like a burden, because you're attracting imbalanced energy. The moral of the story is, if you choose imbalanced energy, you're going to consistently circulate through imbalance. And you're never going to get to where you want to go. You're never going to get to where you want to go. But where you want to go is possible. Where you want to go is not far. Where you want to go is not beside you. It's with you. It's within you. And you just have to know. You have to begin to believe and feed yourself these things. It's not easy. It's not easy. There's not no overnight shit, bro. You have to continuously choose. This is a choice. This is where the free will come in. You want to be saved? You want support to swoop in and really do what it needs to do for you? Then you need to start supporting yourself and telling yourself yes. Stop telling yourself no. Stop telling yourself no. You've been telling yourself no. You've been told no for so long. And I don't mean this in the physical, material aspects. I mean this in the core, who we are as people, who our souls are. Who you are at your core, bro. You gotta want to be interested in you. And a part of being interested in you is being interested and okay and acclimated with the fact that you hate yourself. That is the first step. It's okay to hate yourself. Like, it's not okay, but it's normal. It's normal when we've grown up in a society where we were taught to hate everything about ourselves and to be what the structure told us to be. And if we were not what the structure told us to be, then we needed to hate ourselves. And we were taught that hating ourselves was what brought change. Hate is not what brings change. Love is. Accountability is. Accountability is love. Choice with discernment is love. People be like, oh, I don't believe in love. Love is fake. Oh, la, 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 la. You choose to subscribe to that reality, and that is what it's going to be. Point blank, period. Your idea of love is fake because you're choosing for it to be fragmented. You're choosing for it to only uphold a certain look because you still don't want to look at certain aspects of yourself. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. Look in the mirror. I challenge y'all. Look in the mirror. Mirror gaze. If you do not mirror gaze, mirror gaze. Just look at yourself. And it feels cringy as hell starting out. Why does it feel cringy? Because it feels disgusting to look at yourself. Why does it feel disgusting to look at yourself? Because you've told yourself that you are not worth being seen. That you're not worth being heard. That you're not worth perceiving. That you're not worth being held. And that's not true. You are worth all of those things. You are worth all those things and more. You are worth those things because those things are yours, because they're you. You are love and wholeness and balance and witnessing and divinity and material. You are everything. You are the all in your little human body. You're never alone because you're always with you. The spirit within, the source within, the uni, the omni within, the highest within is always with you. That's where the as within, so without come from. As within, so without. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I love you. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching this on Spotify and you're resonating and you genuinely just want to be in a space where you can truly hold accountability for yourself without being judged, subscribe. Join the community. It's free. Like, we want you here. I need you here. You feel me? The collective needs you here, healing and being whole and becoming whole. We need you here. So subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, subscribe. I want to start posting vlogs, but I post channel messages as of right now, aside from the podcast visuals. And yeah, the sky's the limit with me, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just be posting. If you want to join the Patreon community, you can. It's no longer a free trial. It's 11/11, but I do have public posts now. If you want to be, if you want to be in the mix still, but you don't want to pay, or you don't have the means to pay right now, that's fine. I understand. Much love. I'm still gonna make public posts because I do still want to reach people. And if you don't even want to see the public post on my Patreon, I have a blog. On Substack, and it's completely free to subscribe to. You'll get the email of the post every time I post, but I be posting a lot up there. I be posting healing work, astrological work, reflections, and just overall insights and messages and shit like that. Oracle card of the week, you feel me? So you can catch me anywhere. I also have an ebook. I have an ebook called Healing the Wholeness. It's $44.44, and it's really gonna get you to where you need to go. If you are looking to have some extra resources for guiding you through the process of coming back to wholeness, I feel like that's a really good book for you. But other than that, follow the Instagram, the Threads, the Twitter, the X. It gets real sensual over there. In fact, it gets real sensual always with me. You feel me? But yeah, it gets real sensual over there. Me and my partner plan to just tap in. I see you in the next episode. I love you so much. Thank you so much for choosing your healing and your guidance and your overall path back to wholeness. You're choosing to heal the collective. You're giving the collective space to do what it needs to do. And I appreciate you, and it appreciates you. And I just pray that abundance is always returned unto you. And I pray that you always know that it's yours, that you are the abundance. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.